Hey everyone, this is Dr. Chris at the Radio of Horror, 91.3 FM, WCUW in Worcester. And today, on one of my very rare reviews that I do for my YouTube channel, product reviews, I thought I'd do an unboxing of an item that they only made 2,000 copies of, and I had ordered and finally sent to me. It's from Varese Sarabandon Records. They put out several soundtracks for about hundreds of different movies. You can check out their website to see what they have. And one of the coolest things they did is they put together the soundtrack collection for The Nightmare on Elm Street, which, if you don't know what this is Freddy's sweater, which acts as a slipcase for the CDs, and I've never opened it before. It's brand new, it's fully sealed. As you can see, obviously, it just took it out of the box. I'm going to peel away the plastic now. And right there, you have this really kind of neat slipcase cover, knitted like the sweater of Freddy Krueger. Very, very cool. So you peel it back. That is an awesome little slipcover, by the way. That's a very ingenious. You turn it over, and then you have the slash marks from Freddy's gloves, because he only has 4 claws on one of his hands, unlike Wolverine, where you have the 3. And right here on the logo on the side, you have the A Nightmare on Elm Street. Nice shiny black case to keep it in pristine mint condition. That is what the sweater is for. It'd been cool if maybe the sweater was a little damaged, a little burnt, like with some scorch marks on it, but this is still really cool. So you pull it out, and then you have this booklet for Freddy Krueger, and then on the back you have a dedicated to the memory of Wes Craven, 1939 to 2015. Wes Craven, of course, passed away late summer last year. It was a tragic loss for the horror industry. Now, throughout the little booklet, you have an introduction by Randall D. Larson about scoring the Nightmare on Elm Street series. And these are all by different composers, by the way. Here we have the Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, the Freddy's Revenge, and then a little bit of information about the movie, as well as the tracks and who's involved in the composition of the film. You have a Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, the Dream Warriors, same thing. Some details about the film, the storyline, and then the tracks as well as who's involved. A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, The Dream Master. A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5, The Dream Child. Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. Wes Craven's A New Nightmare. And then Freddy vs. Jason. That's it. No remake. Just the original films, which of course ended with Freddy vs. Jason, which is fantastic. At the top of each one of these, by the way, they list who the composer for them are. We have Charles Bernstein for the original Nightmare on Elm Street. We have Christopher Young for Part 2. We have Angelo Badalamenti for Part 3. Craig Safan for Part 4. Jay Ferguson for Part 5. Brian May for The Final Nightmare. J. Peter Robinson for New Nightmare. And Graham Revell for Freddy vs. Jason. Now, I believe on Freddy vs. Jason, we also get an additional track. I thought we would get. There was a hit song for Freddy vs. Jason, which now, of course, completely escapes me. It would be awesome if maybe they also put on here for Part 4 or Part 5 the Will Smith song, Nightmare on My Street. There's some controversy surrounding that him and DJ Jazzy Jeff, of course, they printed they made the song without the authorization of New Line Cinema, and they had to scrap the music video they made, but New Line allowed them to continue with the actual song itself. So that's why you've been able to hear it. Otherwise, it would have been completely destroyed. So each one of the Freddy CDs comes in a slipcase. The box pretty much doesn't have anything else in it. Fantastic artwork on the cover, by the way. I would love to know who did the artwork for the cover. Let's see. Original art design by Sean Kahn. Now, any of the names, by the way, that are involved in this box set that I happen to butcher, I completely apologize ahead of time. Trying to look them up on Wikipedia with the spelling correctly done was not very easy. So, and of course, each one of the CDs create a picture of Freddy Krueger. They create the picture that's actually on the booklet and a little bit more. So we're going to try to put it together here like a puzzle piece. So you can see the whole thing in scope, and I'll tilt the camera down so you can see this whole thing. This is the best way I know how to do a video review. I've seen people on YouTube do it kind of the same way. I've seen them do it better. You guys are going to have to bear with me really just for a few minutes. And actually, the puzzle that the images create just so happened to be a bit bigger than the actual booklet itself. I will pan down. So you see the scope of everything. And then, of course, they did a really good job, by the way, packing these CDs so they would not get broken in any way, and they're not in some type of jewel case either, which is fantastic because those jewel cases can get easily broken. So they packed it with decent packing material, and that way it's not jostling around. The other thing I like to point out about the company is they put it in little plastic sleeves, which is fantastic. I don't know about a lot of you guys, but I still like physical media. I know everything's digital. I myself have an iPod. I listen to a lot of podcasts on it. I do have some music on it, but the physical media CDs I think is fantastic. Each one of these CDs contains tons of music on them. The Freddy vs. Jason has about 41 tracks. New Nightmare has about 30 tracks. Let's see, the original Nightmare on Elm Street has... let's see, 36 tracks, and actually has a concert overture for Nightmare on Elm Street by Charles Bernstein, composer's home mock-up. So there's a bunch of demos on here of music, as well as additional bonus unreleased tracks on the Nightmare on Elm Street. The track listings are on the back of every single CD. And it looks like every single one of the CDs for this actually has complete track listings, which is fantastic. I thought that was really cool that you're not just getting soundtracks that you normally have, you may or may not have, but you actually get some really great additional material. I thought it'd be a great time to kind of pick this up and present the tracks in a little video, as I know that there is a couple of Nightmare on Elm Street kind of documentary and fan films coming out right now. We recently had on Paige Joy, who's directing a Nightmare on Elm Street film herself, a little fan film about what's happening between Nightmare on Elm Street Part 1, which is right here, and Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, and explaining what happened to Nancy while she was missing. And then there's Mark Patton. He has a documentary coming out about his experience working on the Nightmare on Elm Street movie, and then what happened afterwards when he came out of the closet as a gay man, and the reaction to him being gay, as well as like later on his life in conventions, and just kind of a story of his life in general, which is really cool. It's been on Kickstarter. I didn't have a chance to kickstart it, but I definitely want to check it out as soon as I can. this is definitely going to be something that I'm going to be playing on Radio of Horror. I can't play any of the music right now on in this YouTube video due to YouTube copyright reasons. But if you want to listen to any of the Nightmare on Elm Street music, definitely check out my radio show, Dr. Chris's Radio of Horror, at www.radioofhorror.wordpress.com. And you can also go to Radio of Horror on Facebook to get all the updates and information. And I will let you guys know when I'm going to be playing these albums. And I'm probably going to play one per week as much as I can. There's so much music on them. I only do a 2-hour radio show, so I'm going to try to get through as many as I can over the next several months. But if you go to wcuw.org, we will be playing all of the music from all of the original Nightmare on Elm Street movies on my radio show. Which we are legally allowed to do because we're a broadcasting station, and we will be logging in the music into a device called Spintron, which basically lets the government know, as well as record companies, what music that we're playing, so it's all legal and legit. So if you definitely want to listen to any of these tracks on the radio, I highly recommend checking out my show. Again, go to my website at radiohorror.wordpress.com, where you can find out more information about when I'm going to be playing all these albums, because I will be playing them in all its entirety. And check out the other videos on my YouTube channel, and please subscribe and like them. Thank you very much, guys. Have a good night.